Hey guys, Steve Sharbridge here. So I'm pretty sure, well, if you saw my Stephen King book collection video, I said I would probably do a Dean Koontz book collection video, and that's what I'm going to do for this one. Now, this isn't really a huge collection. I don't have all of Dean Koontz's books. In fact, I still have quite a few to get of his, I started reading Dean Koontz about 9 months ago, so this is a fairly new collection, but I've been getting his books for a little while now. But yeah, so I'll just take you through all of the Dean Koontz books that I have. These are all the books that I have with me. With my Stephen King video, there were a few books that I didn't have with me, but these are all the Dean Koontz books that I have with me currently. And just as I'm saying that, I forgot to get one more book. Okay. All right. And I also thought I would just as a bonus, I thought I would just add my Joe Hill. I would add the Joe Hill books that I have, which is I have all 4 of them. Those are his only books currently, but I thought I would throw that in as just like an extra. I probably could have thrown it in with Stephen King, but I didn't think about it at the time. But I'll go ahead and throw Joe Hill in as well. So, and since this is the smallest collection, I'll go ahead and do the Joe Hill books first. So, 20th Century Ghosts. I haven't read this one yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Let's see here. Here's the contents. It's not a huge book. It's only about 312 pages, and then there's the acknowledgments. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of the stories sound really good, so I'm excited to read this. So this is the book that I'm really looking forward to reading. NOS 482. I don't know how to actually say the name, but this is kind of about this vampire type. I think this guy is kind of like a vampire, but he takes these kids to another dimension called Christmas Land, and the main character's name is Victoria, and apparently she had went there, but she escaped, and now she's fighting the guy. I don't know his name, but I don't know. That's the basic plot of it. It sounds really good. Has really good ratings, and yeah, I'm excited to read this. It's a fairly long book, but yeah. Sounds really good. Horns. I have read this one actually. This one was pretty good. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5. I think. It had a few moments where it could be, I don't know, a few moments that were a bit dull, but I did feel like it was a very good book overall. I could have done without less of the flash. There was a lot of flashbacks in this book. I could have done without. Could have done with a little less of the flashbacks, but still really good overall. The movie was just okay, but it really didn't. I mean, it portrayed. I guess it was faithful, but it really wasn't. It still just wasn't really that great of a movie. So. And then the other one, Heart-Shaped Box, which I believe was his first novel, I think. But haven't read this one either. But again, it sounds really good. I think it's about this guy that gets a suit, and the suit is like haunted, which sounds really unique, but really cool. Excited to read this one too. So, okay, so we'll go ahead and move on with the Dean Koontz book collection. So let's get that started here. One of his most known works, Odd Thomas, which is obviously the first book in the Odd Thomas series. Really enjoyed this book. I'd give it like a 5 stars. Very good. Odd Thomas is a very lovable main character, and the story is very good too. It's kind of like The Sixth Sense in a way, because the main character can see ghosts, but pretty different though overall. Forever Odd, which was the sequel to Odd Thomas. This was not good. It was not a good book at all. Like I would give it like maybe a 2 out of 5, and that's being generous. Honestly, if you're gonna read Odd Thomas, I would just read the first book and just move on to the 3rd book if you want to continue with the series, because this book is just really terrible. I found that it was really boring, dull, it dragged on, so I don't know, just my opinion. Then we got the third book, Brother Odd, which was a definite improvement over the second book. It was good, but it didn't have the same feeling as the first book. I don't know if I don't know if the rest of the series does or not, but yeah, yeah, I read this one. Haven't gotten the other Odd Thomas books, and I don't know. I honestly don't know if I'm going to continue with the series. Some people have said that I should, that I would enjoy it, but I don't know. Not really that encouraged to continue with the series, so maybe we'll see. The Funhouse, which was my very first Dean Koontz book, really enjoyed this book up until the ending. The ending was just terrible, but up until the ending, it was really good. And it's a short book. It's not a long book, so it's a pretty easy read, pretty quick read. You know, a good thriller, you know, B-thriller type book, but it was good. Up until that crappy ending, so I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5, or maybe like a 3.5. It gets that star or star and a half knocked off because of that crappy ending. Mr. Murder, which I also really enjoyed. I was a bit disappointed in the ending because I was hoping that a certain detail in the plot, because I was thinking the plot would be one thing, like the reveal at the end would be one thing, but it was really another. But I still really enjoyed this book. It was pretty fast-paced for the most part, and it's a pretty good read, I'd say. Definitely check it out. Voice of the Night, which I recently got, haven't read yet, but kind of like the Funhouse. It seems just like a, you know, not a huge book, but just like a, you know, kind of an easy read, good read. But yeah, it's the Voice of the Night. This is the one that I'm currently reading, Life Expectancy. I'm about let's see, about 112 pages in. It's good so far, but so far I'm not blown away by it. I'm assuming it'll pick up, the pace will pick up, and it'll start getting better. But so far, good, but not terribly impressed yet. But then again, I'm not that far in at all, so I've still got a long ways to go. So to be continued with that one. Let's see, Intensity. A lot of people have said this is one of his best works. Well, maybe not one of his best works, but like definitely like one of his better works. For me, I don't know, I guess maybe it just wasn't my type of book. It was very much like a psychological thriller. So if you like psychological thrillers, then this one would be the book for you. It was a really good psychological thriller, but to me, at times, it was just kind of, I don't know, kind of a tedious read, but I don't know, it was good. I'd give it like say a 4 out of 5. It was still pretty good book. Strange Highways, which is probably one of my favorite Dean Koontz books so far. This is a book of short stories, and it has 2 novellas in it as well. Very good short stories. I did a review on this one, so if you want to check that out, then you can. But let's see here. There's all the short stories. There's Strange Highways, which is the first novella, and there's the other short stories, and then Chase is the other novella, which was excellent. Strange Highways was pretty good, but I'd say Chase is probably the stronger novella. But yeah, Strange Highways. I hope Dean Koontz does more short story books, or like, you know, short novellas or whatever. Frankenstein, which is the first book in the Frankenstein series. It's got 5 books, I believe. The first one is The Prodigal Son. Really enjoyed this one, was really impressed, and I'll definitely be continuing with this series. I really liked it. I liked the characters. I felt like it was really well written, very fast paced as well. It's kind of it's a bit of a thicker book. Let's see. Well, actually, it has almost 500 pages, but even still, it's, like I said, pretty fast paced. I enjoyed it. The City of Night, which is the sequel. Haven't read it yet, but I will soon. And I don't have the other Frankenstein books, but I will get them eventually. But yeah, so excited to read Face, which I also bought recently. Sounds really interesting to me. You know, pretty decent ratings. So, excited to read that one. Midnight, which was my second Dean Koontz book. A lot of people like this one, but I thought it was okay. I mean, well, I guess it was good, but I wasn't that blown away by it. I didn't think the characters were all that memorable or anything to write home about, except maybe the little girl Chrissy. I don't know. I mean, if you like some really deep sci-fi horror, or I mean, I'm obviously a fan of horror, but I don't know. Just wasn't a big fan of it overall. Night Chills, which is probably my favorite standalone Dean Koontz book yet. Read this, finished this a little while ago, not too long ago. Again, it's not a terribly long book. I think it's just a little over, let's see, it's about 370 pages. Not a long book. Again, pretty fast-paced. I mean, there are a few slower moments, but pretty fast-paced. Very good read. I definitely enjoyed it. I gave it like a 5 out of 5. It's not a terribly long book, and I mean, the plot isn't exactly anything new, but Dean Koontz wrote this in the 70s, so for then it was pretty new for him, but I don't know. I thought it was a lot better than Midnight. And then these are some of my newest, well, not my newest, but I got these for Christmas, this past Christmas, so Whispers, which I think was like his breakout novel, and I've read the plot. It sounds really interesting. I'm excited to read it. I was going to read this a little while ago, but I ended up reading Strange Highways, and I went on to Night Chills, and now I'm reading Life Expectancy, but maybe I'll read this one next. Pretty good. Strangers, which is I think is one of his thickest books. It's got like, let's see, it's got about almost 700 pages, I think. So, yeah, it sounds really cool. About these people that don't even know each other, but they all have like abilities or something, and they end up meeting up. So, I don't know. It sounds really good. I'm excited to read it. And then, last but not least, certainly not least, his most famous, well, yeah, pretty much his most famous and his most acclaimed work, Watchers. I have not read this one, but I will definitely be reading it soon. A few people have told me, "Oh, you got to read Watchers. You got to read Watchers. It's amazing." And that's all. I mean, all I've heard is that it's an amazing book. I haven't heard a single negative review or comment or anything. So I will definitely be reading this very, very soon as far as Dean Koontz is concerned, because apparently this is his classic. But I kind of want to work up to it. Like, I don't want to go in with all this hype and then be disappointed. I'm going to kind of work up to it. I'm going to read some of his other novels, then work up to this one. So, yeah. So, that is all the Dean Koontz books and the short Joe Hill collection. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's it for this video. And, I don't really have any other collections, really, so I don't know. I do have a fair amount of Ellen Hopkins books, so I might do an Ellen Hopkins book collection video, but, yeah, so. But anyways, that's it for this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.